Okay, we are recording. Welcome to our Dream Team weekly call. I want to go ahead and start out with some shout outs. First of all, the Change Lives board is incredible. You guys are doing awesome with Success Club this month. And I want to congratulate especially Ashley Thomas, Bree Wetzel, and Lindsay Rourt, who have all already hit Success Club this month. So congratulations to you three. I had one-on-ones the past 2 weeks, and they have been so good. If you have not scheduled a one-on-one with me and would still like to get it in, that's fine. Just send me a message and let me know. I've just really enjoyed that time with you guys and going over your goals and your whys and what you're going to accomplish this year. And then also thank you to those of you that came out to Super Saturday. I think everyone was more than inspired by Julie Vorez. I think she completely blew us away, and Carl Deichler the same. So that was exciting. We have a few important dates coming up. The 16th is our Team Power Hour. The 17th is Fit Fighter Nation's team call. The 23rd is our next team call. And then just to remind you again, on the 25th, if you have not got tickets yet, Sean T is going to be in Indy on the 25th. So make sure you get your tickets to that if you have not yet. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and jump over and let Tania begin. But first I want to introduce her. She is a 3-time, and I've got a list here I'm going to look at because she is a rock star. She is a 3-time elite coach. She is 7-star in her first business center, 2-star in her second business center, 1-star in her third business center, a Success Club 10 legend, a size format expert, and a Beachbody Live master trainer. And she is who trained me on my country heat classes that I love taking and teaching so much. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Tania.
Hi guys, I'm so terrible. So funny. I do this with my team every time. I start talking and I realize I'm on mute the whole time. And then I start getting all these text messages. They're like, "We can't hear you." I'm like, huh? Oh yeah. And it's just because I have my son in the background, and I have my team calls on Tuesday nights, and that my husband goes to jiu-jitsu training on Tuesday and Thursday nights. So anything that happens during those times, it's just like if my son might run by like no pants on, or he might start crying. So anyway, we were just talking about that actually before this. I was like, I'm home alone. So
we understand.
That's parent life. So thank you guys so much. I know those when you read off like our stats and our accolades, I'm like, just say Tania, she's a nice person. That's good enough. I'm like, oh my God. But I am proud of accomplished in our team. So thank you so much, you guys, for having me on your call. And we do these calls so often, yet it's interesting because it happens on my team as well, is if another coach comes on and joins our team call and happens to say the exact same thing as our upline says, it's like you've never heard it before. It's really funny how that works. And it's just, maybe it's just, told from a different way, but essentially all of us coaches, we all do the same thing. And I know that a lot of times that we are looking for that magic, recipe, that secret sauce. And, how are you a 3-time elite team and I can't even get someone to drink Shakeology? Like, what is the magic thing that you are doing? And honestly, there is no one magic thing, and there's no one trick that I have up my sleeve, but things I do. And I get that we tend to attract, our vibe attracts our tribe kind of thing. So I'm a confident person. I've never had an issue with confidence, but what I am, which contrary to popular belief, is I am very private. My performing persona, the person on the videos, the person, the dancer, the fitness professional, like that to me is a person. And then there's me in my real life. And in my real life, I'm really quiet. I'm very uncomfortable in groups, I guess you can say. Like if we were in a group setting, if we were actually sitting in person, I would probably be the most quiet in the room. And then it gets misconstrued into like, oh, she's snobby. She's not. No, I'm just terrified in these groups. So even though I attract confident people, we all still have facets of ourselves that aren't. You have some areas that aren't so confident. And I don't know where that comes from. But I do have something to reiterate. Look at my, I'm very organized, actually. Let me see. However, I just seem to have, I didn't put a tab on tonight's notes. That's okay. I don't know where it went, but it's okay. I can say it without it. I know exactly what it is. So I know with my team, and I'm sure you guys face it as well as your coaches that you're signing up, is a lot of fear about this business. Take it from me, I was probably the most skeptical person of all in this business, and I'm sure you've heard it a million times, but I can't find it. But anyway, so the reason why I laugh at where it came from and why it took me so long to become a coach is I've been with Beachbody for 12 years, just on a totally different level. When I started with Beachbody, I was not a coach. I've only been a coach for 3 years. I was working with C.R.E.A.T.E. I'm sure you're familiar with him. And we started with hip hop abs, and then we just went all the way on till where we are now. And I started with Beachbody on that side. And what that side is, I helped him and Beachbody with the team create the workouts. So I really knew the insides and outsides of how to create a program, how to structure a meal plan to go with it, and how to get people to lose weight with it, how to get people to get results. And so I started working with the test groups with Beachbody. So all those people that you see in the infomercial, all the testimonials, those are the people that I work with Sean's programs. And I've done a couple of non-Sean programs as well when I went to New York. But so the funny thing is I was actually already a coach before I was really a coach. I was just doing it in person with these people versus doing it virtually. And so, but what I always thought about the coaching business was that it was creepy and it was weird. And it was a bunch of salespeople and some kind of like weird cult that was like all drinking the juice. And I just didn't get it. And I think, and I tell that story to all my new coaches or people who are thinking about coaching. And I say, look, I know exactly what you're talking about. So it took me a long time. In fact, I was the trainer for the Shakeology workouts. Notice I didn't put that on my list because I don't want anybody to know that. But anyway, we did those. It was like right after we filmed Insanity, Carl had called me and asked if I would be the trainer for Shakeology. And I was like, what's Shakeology? This was back in the day when it just came out and it tasted like dirt. It was awful. And it wasn't what it's like today. And I hated it. And I was like, you're not going to make me drink this. If you do, you are going to put like ice cream in it or something. And I made them like make it taste not like Shakeology. So I didn't like it. So I didn't understand it, even though I was the trainer for it. So it's interesting that as connected as I was to Beachbody, I didn't believe in it until, what do you think happened? Until I had my own story and my own transformation and my own experience. Because I was always the one on the other side. I was always the one on the outside trying to help people get to their, get on their journey. I was never one of those who needed to be on a journey until I had my overweight period after my son was about, how old was he? He was just a few months old. And this was 5 years ago. So it's funny when people are just now doing T25. They're like, you just had a baby? Like 5 years ago. So I gained about 60 pounds with him. I had a C-section. I am still an older mom. I had him at 38 and I was about to turn 38. So I was a little bit older. Body's a little bit different. Did have a C-section and, things just don't bounce back. And I didn't really feel like I could ever work out again. Or I didn't even think I could do anything other than sleep, because we all know how that is, right? When you have a new child, it's like, you have 20 minutes to spare. Sleep, workout. Yeah, I think we know which one we're going to go with is the sleep, right? And back then, we didn't have shorter workouts. We had Turbo Fire. We had Insanity. We had P90X. I mean, those were all like long, like all those things are so long. That was like, or they were too intense. They didn't really have a lot of modification workouts back then. It really wasn't focused on as much. So I really didn't work out. I didn't do anything. I was just like, I'm just going to sleep. And then Sean decided that, or he didn't decide, T25 was being, developed. And he called me and he said, I'm doing this new program. My son was about 4 months at this time, because I'm doing a new program. It was called My 25, fun fact. It was actually called My 25, and then it changed to I 25, and then it changed to so many different things, and then finally it was T25. And he said, I want you to come out to New York and help me with it and help me develop it. And I said, sure, no problem. I'll help you. But I had no intention of like really being in it. I just thought, I'm overweight. I'm out of shape. I can't even like breathe doing anything longer than 10 seconds. Like I just was so out of shape. Because the only thing I really did, I didn't really work out while I was pregnant, because we didn't have a lot of workout programs at that time. And afterwards, I just did Zumba, I think, because I was like the only non-painful thing. Again, they didn't have T25 back then. So then when he asked me to go to New York and help him with it, I went to New York, and I was like, this is the worst thing ever. I can't do this. This is so hard. I can't do this. And he was like, okay. He goes, I want you to do the full program from start to finish, because I want to see if it works on new moms. And I was like, it's not going to work. It's 25 minutes. It's not going to work. There's no way. Like, we do Insanity, and like it takes an hour to get those results. It doesn't take 25 minutes. So again, I was a huge skeptic, but I helped him, and I actually went through the program. And he was like, you're not offended that I asked you to go through it, right? Like, you weren't thinking that I was calling you out of shape. I was like, no, but I am. And so my husband did the program as well, because he had gained 50 pounds of daddy weight. So we did it together, and we did the full program for 10 weeks, start to finish, tried Shakeology, even though I didn't really want to, but I did, and realized that it was like everything. And I started to feel tons better. Anyway, I got in better shape, I think, than I was before that. And then it was like, aha. Now I understand what all these crazy people are talking about. I get it now. I understand what it's like to have a transformation with the Beachbody program, drinking Shakeology, following the program. I understand what those struggles are. And I think because of that, I thought, well, maybe this coaching thing isn't so silly after all. And a lot of things were happening at that time. When I decided to become a coach, I was having finance problems once again. And a good friend of mine, who actually is in my upline, said, you should become a coach. And I was like, no. Long story short, I basically said no. Then I did it because I was like, what the heck? What do I have to lose? And so I signed up with like the $39.95. Didn't do a challenge pack because I was like, I still had Shakeology left over from like I had it already. And I was doing so many projects with Beachbody that they would just like give us like extra bags of Shakeology that we didn't use for our test groups. So I was like, well, I don't need to buy it. And then I couldn't figure out for the life of me why I wasn't active. And anyway, so I called back. I was like, let me change my order. I'm going to get, what is it, like a challenge pack? And they're like, what program do you want? I'm like, I don't know. I have them all. I guess T25. I'll just save it for a souvenir because I got a copy of it from working on it. So then I just started realizing that even though I had no idea what coaching was, and I was scared out of my mind, I was scared of being judged. I was scared of people saying that the machine had kind of, fell off, that the machine was no longer like in insanity shape. And I was just scared of being vulnerable and putting myself out there. And I know you probably think, if you look at me now, if you do follow me on social media at all, you probably wouldn't think that I had a moment in my life where I was vulnerable. And but I did. And I thought to myself, if one person was touched or impacted by looking at my photos or by hearing what I had to say, if just one person picked up this program and decided to try it, then me being embarrassed was worth it, or me being afraid of being judged was worth it. And if I remember that, and if you think of it that way, I think that you will have a different mindset and a different perspective about what this business is, because it takes away the sales part. It takes away the part of sounding weird and creepy to people, because you're being authentic, you're being humble, and you're not trying to sell them on anything because the products sell themselves. You're just trying to share your story, right? So our stories, the facts tell and our stories sell. That's what it is. That's really what it is. It's our story. So if you're ever struggling with, and I'm going to touch on the fact if you're like, well, I'm still in the middle of my journey, I'm not quite there yet. If you think of your story as your selling piece, then that's what it is. And then, you're, no matter what, I hate when people are like, just stop being fearful. Well, that's impossible. Fear is a legitimate emotion. Hello, it was an inside out. So if it was an inside out, then it's real. So, okay, only as parents get it, right? So fear is a legitimate thing that we should have because it helps us put up our defenses and fight back or stay away, right? Like it's danger, stay away. And so instead of that, it's like embrace the fear and just go for it and be okay. And I'm sure you've all heard of, if not, you should read it, Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. It's one of my favorite books and one of the first things that I tell my coaches to read. That one and Rock Your Network Marketing Biz. Do you guys do that one too? It's like 5 pages long and super easy. I think those are the two best starting points. I know everyone does compound effect, but I think what people worry about is just the fear of failing and falling on their face. And you don't have to master your confidence level by then. You just have to be okay with putting yourself out there and knowing that putting yourself out there is going to draw judgment, right? But you don't listen to that. What you should be focusing on is if my story touches one person, if it just helps one person get off their couch and, order this program, then I know that it was worth it. So I try to really instill that value into my coaches. And of course, the PD always helps. And the minute anybody on my team says they're struggling with something, the first thing I ask is, what are you reading? Because perhaps you're not reading the right book for them at the right time. Might not be the right time for that book. Sure, everybody's reading, The School of Greatness. But perhaps you need something different. Perhaps you need something, I have a bunch of people reading, The Miracle Morning for network marketers. But they're struggling with confidence and fear. I'm like, well, that's not the book for you. That's more like getting you on getting you on a routine and getting you on a schedule. That doesn't really build your confidence. So it's always important to really look inside yourselves and see what it is that you need right now. And of course, always go to your upline and see if there's any direction that they can offer you. So we are in the business of, whether you know it or not, we are in the business of being an entrepreneur. And you're probably like, okay. Oh, before I go on to that, we were talking about if you're not yet at your goal. Are we ever really at our goal? Like, are we ever really? Because once you hit it, you kind of set a new goal and a new goal, right? But I get what you mean. Like, oh, I'm not really comfortable with I don't have an after yet. And sure, I get it. The before and after of the huge weight loss and a huge transformation photos, yes, those are really impactful. It makes people stop through the scroll. So that should be something something that you're working towards. But if you're not yet there, guess what? There are I would say there's more people that would understand you not being there yet than, being that, ideal before and after. In fact, how many more people would cheer for you if they watched your journey? And it may take someone like a year. They may need to watch your journey for a year before they decided to sign up. I have so many coaches on my team that are like that. All right, I followed you for a year before I decided to just do it. And I'm just watching your journey and you telling your story was what was really impactful. And the first year of my coaching, I did not tell my story. The only story I told was having a baby, and that was it. I didn't say anything about about my struggles in life. I never spoke on, the losses that I had with, at the time it was only one, but I had a miscarriage in my second trimester, and I never talked about being bankrupt in 2010, which was not that long ago. I never shared a lot of my vulnerabilities because I wanted people to see that I was the machine and I was super strong and someone that they should have confidence in. And sure, it worked for a little bit, but it wasn't until at the time, my success partner at the time was like, she was like, I find out more and more about you every day that we talk, and how nobody else knows this stuff about you. I'm like, I would never say that out loud, or I don't want to share that. Like, they don't want to hear that. And she's like, you're absolutely wrong. people would love to hear that because you're relatable. People can't relate to you right now because they look at you as this untouchable person. You're in the videos, you're super strong, and you got right back into shape is what people are going to think, right? You got right back into shape because you just did, because you're like a freak of nature. But if you ever let people in on all the hard work that you do, all the struggles that you've had in your life, I bet you your business would change. So it was it was my 41st birthday that I finally put my story out there in the public. And I was like, oh my God, to hit post, kind of just sat there forever. And then it would time out. And then good thing I did a copy, I did a copy and paste. I knew if it timed out or if I lost it that I could just paste it again. But I was terrified, and I was just like, oh, I can't believe I'm about to do this. And the minute I did it, because I was like, okay, who wants to air their financial drama publicly? Nobody wants to talk about that stuff. And especially I was afraid of my family reading it, and because a lot of my financial struggles were because of my family. I supported my family, and so I lost a lot of money supporting them. So I didn't want them to feel bad. It was just a lot. But I was like, whatever, I'm just going to do it. And that's when my business grew, was by telling my story, telling my struggles, both physically and financially, and how I was going to overcome that. And now at this time, I wasn't after a year of coaching, I wasn't, ready to quit my job and do all this stuff. I wasn't one of those, but I just said, here are some people that I aspire to be like. They have struggled from here. I didn't have a story yet. So if you're still working on your story, use somebody else's story, right? Use somebody else's transformation that has inspired you. Don't worry about that potential customer going to that person. They're going to go to them if they want to, regardless. People are going to go to you because they want you. But if you can just share someone else's story while you're still working on your story, while still sharing a piece of you, I think that that would be a great way to not only kick your business into gear even more, or help your newer coaches do the same. As far as, I think your story sells. You okay? Where are you going? Okay. Sorry. Gonna go play Minecraft. Okay. And then we're gonna take a bath, okay? Okay. All right, sorry. So any questions before I move on with stories or struggling with stories? Or we can save questions till the end, if that would be better. Okay. There were some chats, but I think that was all about the movie Inside Out. Yeah, okay. Okay. So believe it or not, we are in the business of being entrepreneurs, and as business owners. When you click that box, I agree, or whatever, whatever the box, I forget what it looks like now, but whatever we did to sign our life away into this coaching thing, we decided at that moment that we were going to become a business owner / entrepreneur. And sometimes it's going to take a while for us to embrace that entrepreneurial spirit, that entrepreneurial brain. And there are so many different books out there and different trainings, and everybody is, different with how they build their business, and that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur. Everyone's so different. It's so weird that there's two of us, just her, and I always find that but it's the only wall that it works with. It's really funny. I'm like, why is she watching me? Anyhow, so I like to use the word, if you want to write this down, entrepreneurs create. So I go down the line, and you just put create. Did I spell it right? Yeah. You just put create. So, and that's basically what we do. We create opportunities. We don't just sit around and wait for the opportunities to come to us. We have to create the opportunity. Unless you're just one of those lucky ones, like my friend Ashley Molstead, who made a post on Facebook and it went viral around Thanksgiving time. And because it's over 24 million views or something like that. And because of that, her business took off, and she had she finished December at 304 Success Club points. And it's January 12th, and she's at 349 Success Club points. I think that's hit Beachbody record. So for sure, I'm sure she's going to hit top 10 just on volume alone. But she's got people knocking down her door. Well, we're not all so lucky. that, you know, people are not, believe it or not, knocking down my door either. I have to work just as hard. You know, there are a lot of us out there. So we need to create I know, right? OMG. We have to create the opportunities and not wait for them. So I like the word create. So for C, we need to be consistent. And I know you hate that word because that's all you hear, but I can't tell you if anything in this business, in our fitness life, in our anything in life, consistency is key no matter what. And we all have seen what happens when we fall off, because we all do. We fall off our diet or our meals, whatever meal plan. We fall off our workouts. We've fallen off on saving money for our whatever, putting money in our savings account. We have fallen off on, you know, organizing the pantry that we're supposed to be doing, you know, things like that. You know, so if we are consistent in our workouts every single day, consistently drinking our shake every single day, consistently getting in some sort of PD a little bit, even though none of us have time for it. Nobody has time for it, right? But you make time. You make time because it makes you so much better. It makes you a better person, really, more than just a better business person. And being consistently consistent with all of that. So I always say our job is so easy. 1, we do a workout. 2, we drink a shake. 3, we read some good stuff. 4, we talk about 1 through 3, 1, 2, and 3 publicly. And number 5, we invite others to do 1, 2, 3, 4. It's really it. So really there's only 3 steps, right? The top 3. And that really being consistent is what is going to set us above everything else, taking us from good to great. It's really just being consistent, because not only are you showing that no matter what happens in life, and trust me, I've had a doozy the last couple months between, you know, just to kind of like showing that I never gave up regardless of what was going on in my life. I was pregnant again. I had a terminal pregnancy in my second trimester. I was 4 months pregnant and lost that baby as well. And on the same day coming home from the hospital, I got a call that we lost our loan to get the new house that we were about to close on in 3 days. So literally I'm like waking up from the anesthesia to a voice message from our lender saying we lost it. Then 3 days later, my uncle was brutally murdered. So I had that was in the beginning of November. In fact, I got the call when I got off the plane in DC to go to the super over Halloween weekend. I got off the plane, and then I got off the plane, I got the call that my uncle was murdered. I literally turned around. I started, this is like TMI, but because I just had the surgery from the miscarriage, I started bleeding in the middle of the airport, like just from whatever, the stress. I just got on a plane and went right back home. And all of this easily could have been all of my excuses. And those are some big life-altering-ish deals there in a matter of 3 days. And I really could have just let everything go, gave up, but I had to go back and remember why I was doing this. Yes, for my family. Yes, to provide. Yes. And then I realized, like, no, it's for me to find that inner strength and to motivate others to find their inner strength, that no matter what, to not give up. And so, like, the 30 minutes that I got to work out, once I was able to work out, was the highlight of my day. Like, Beachbody saved me from all of that, because I was able for 30 minutes to turn off my brain, turn off my emotions, and just sweat for 30 minutes. So much that, like, Carl reached out to me and he was just like, I can't believe that you're doing all of this. Like, it's just, he's like, you're inspiring me that, you know, all the stuff that you're going through, that you're still hanging in there. I think I hit Success Club like 30 something that month still. Like, I was just, you know, so no matter what, be consistent and try your best to not use, you know, life as an excuse. Because let me tell you, life will do it to you every single time. Be reliable. Be a reliable, so that's R, be reliable to not only your coaches, but also to your challengers. Be a reliable source of motivation, a reliable source of information, and always just providing value, whatever value that you can provide, and be reliable. Know that people want to know that they can count on you. That either you're going to show up every day on your social media, you're going to show up every day in your challenge groups, You're just going to show up every day to your life. And that is inspiring. So we are consistent and we are reliable. And so think about that stuff when you're making your social media posts, that you are creating something that is, you are posting consistently, you're showing up and being reliable. Like I sweat if I don't post my workout or something in the morning. I'm like, oh my God. So it makes me like get my butt in gear and like, right. I think a lot of us are like, oh, I didn't do my post yet. I gotta work out so I can do my post. So be reliable, because the minute that you like don't show up, neither will they. So So the next one is E. There's 2 E's. So the next one is engaging. Engaging every single day with your team, with your upline if you need it, with your fellow coaches, with your downline, with your challengers, at every single, and especially with the people that are following you. Even though somebody doesn't click like or doesn't comment, doesn't mean that they're not watching you. Okay? Unfortunately, Facebook and or Instagram, they don't tell you how many people actually like stopped at you. It only keeps track of people actually, write something. So engage with people. If you see that, especially if that they liked something on your page, that you say, hi, thank you for liking this. Good luck that they're not already a Beachbody person, but you just never know. And so always just making sure that you are doing some sort of engaging thing with them. And stay plugged in with them. Because I know, my friend Ashley, who's now at 349 points, she's really nervous that she's not able to take care of those people, those 100 and something people. Like, she's like, what do I do with all of them? Like, I can't possibly give them all that attention. I just can't. So, there are some, setbacks to that as well. The next thing for A is taking action. Taking action. And I kind of love Nike's Just Do It. So every time I have a coach that comes to me and is like, so this is what I was thinking about doing. I'm like, so just do it. Just do it. Why are you thinking about it so much? Like, I think we tend to hide behind, this is why I don't do a whole lot. I do them, but I don't do a whole lot of trainings in my team, because I realize that the people that work and do the most, that are most productive, are the ones that are going to do it regardless of a training. And then I have a lot of coaches on my team who they need not that I don't train them, but I don't do a whole lot of training, because I feel like if they're just watching what I'm doing every day, and I give them information every single day, but that they hide behind the books, or they hide behind the videos that they need to watch before they actually take action. And I'm like, all you need to do is just do. Just get out there and do it. Don't overthink it. And if you screw up, chances are they're not going to remember the next day. Like, no one's going to remember that. And I think that the more we just take action, the more we just get up and do, that we're going to, not only is it going to boost our confidence level, because you're just going to be like, who cares? If people, if people don't care, or if they laugh at me, who cares? At least I put it out there. So take action. And also with taking action is always doing some sort of call to action on your social. Not every post. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to ask them to do something on every post, but some sort of call to action so that they contact you. If you're inviting, right? We practice inviting every single day. What are you inviting them to? Oh, just to like my page. No, you need something to invite them to. So if your call to action is message me directly, or, DM me, or whatever you say, make sure you have something to invite them to, whether it's a challenge group, whether it's an accountability group, whether it's a sneak peek, whether it's a free group, anything, just invite them to communicate with you. But I think you'll have better luck if you actually have somewhere to put them. If not, they'll just email you and talk your ear off and never do anything. I get those, right? They just want to ask you 8,000 questions, but not actually ever do anything. So make sure you have somewhere to put them in. So that would be call to action. T would be to teach. Now, by show of hands, how many of you all have your own downlines or you're working on them? You have coaches or you're still working on it? Yeah, right? So the biggest message, what we, is to teach. We need to teach versus preach. Okay. This business is about being duplicatable. And I find that's where I struggle. This is the one I struggled with the most because I'm like, okay, I get it. I have a big following on social media. So if I make a post out being in my challenge group, I get it. I'm going to get tons more engagement and a lot more activity because people know who I am, or because I have, X amount of followers versus somebody who has 300 followers or 20 followers. So I thought, is what I'm doing duplicatable? No. How? I don't know what to do with that. So I struggled with how to teach my team how to do what I do because they can't do what I do. They don't have the following that I have. They're not in the videos like me. So that's where I struggled. So I took it back to basic 101 and I was like, what do new coaches do? What do people do that, so I just did my research. I talked to my friends who were successful coaches who were not in the videos and, they were just building this on their own. And most coaches are like that. They're not like, in the videos. In fact, most of the coaches that are in videos aren't really successful. It's funny. Sometimes they think that being in the videos is going to make them successful. I'm like, no, not at all. Totally separate. So be able to teach what you're doing. So if you're just making a post, anything you do, I would write it down somewhere, whether you save it in a Word doc, a Google doc, or Evernote, somewhere, so that you can just literally go, here you go, when you get a new coach, and share everything you do, the stuff you did wrong, so that they don't do those things. And everything that I do, I teach my team. I don't worry about, and you hear, this is interesting on some other teams. Some don't share as much because they're afraid of the competition. I'm like, hell, I'd rather my coach make more money than my coaches make tons of money under me, because then it just makes, but it's just a weird, interesting thing. So I share every single, even like I write a new template. Hey guys, this is what I just did. In fact, I just did one. I did an email template because I looked and realized how many of my coaches were inactive from just the past year. And out of like, I think I recruited like 90 or something like that over the last year. And like a good third of them were all inactive. And I was like, ew. So I just put together an email template of like, hey guys, just reaching out. I noticed that your account isn't active. Maybe it's a mistake, but I just wanted to know if there's anything I can do to help you get back to being active. Can I put, are you in a challenge? What can I do to help you? And so a lot of them were like, oh, thank God you reached out. Or it shouldn't be inactive. I get my Shakeology. Like, you just never know. And so I just shared that with my team, and they're like, we love that you share every single thing that you write. Every single thing that I do, I just share with them because I don't want to have to say it again. And I figure, so anything that you can do to teach your team will make your lives a lot easier. Or you just take it from Megan, like whatever she's doing, you just copy and paste and make it your own, and then it kind of just trickles down. So teaching is really important because there are a lot of teams out there who don't get the support from their upline, or maybe they just signed up randomly under somebody and now they're kind of stuck with them and they don't get the support. And so just teach as much as you can, because it just only strengthens your business. And then last but not least is empowering. This one's a tough one because you're like, well, how do I empower someone to like do something? Right? We're like, how many times have you said this? I just can't get my coaches to work. I just can't get them to do anything. Here's the answer. You can't. You cannot. The only way you're going to get them to work, really, the only way you're going to get them to Emerald is what? Putting 2 coaches under them? Like, that would be you doing it for them. I can't get them to hit Success Club. Nope, you can't. Unless you're like at their house with them, selling challenge packs for them, you are not going to get them anywhere. They have to do it. They have to be empowered. And so what are the things that help? Number 1 is leading by example. We know that. So you very well can't tell your team to hit Success Club if you're not. Number 1. In fact, I actually just got on all my leaders for this. So my upline is Danielle Natoni for Fit and Funky. And every month we get the leaderboard out on, she posts the leaderboard on Success Club, and if you look, her top, 10 Success Club point earners are all her elite coaches. They're all her leaders. They're always at the top. And I looked at mine, like, mine's not like that. Like, my diamonds are like, some of them don't even hit it, or, they're not up there. And so it made me think, like, what is it? Like I said, I can't make them do it. So I just tell them, I'm like, look, you guys, if you're struggling with your team, it's probably because you're not doing it as well. So number one is we just got to do it too. And I know, like, I used to not put my numbers on our leaderboards because I didn't want to make my team feel bad, or I didn't want to, like, toot my own horn. I don't care about me in that sense. I care about the team. And my coaches actually prefer it. So they said they actually are motivated by seeing my success. They like to see that I hit, these goals every single month. They like it because it empowers them. So I thought, okay, so leading by example is definitely a way to empower them. Another thing is just giving them that little bit of confidence boost that they can do it. Like, I'm always like, yeah, you can. I don't understand. And that just kind of comes from my, when I used to train the test groups, when they would come to me like, I can't do it again. I'm like, yeah, you can. Just do one more push-up. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. See, by the time we're arguing back and forth, you could have done one more. And so I think just instilling a little bit of value, because maybe they don't get support anywhere else. Maybe their family doesn't support this decision they've made. Or maybe their spouses don't understand why they play on Facebook all day long. Or, why they have to get their workout done, and why they're making selfie posts. And, some families don't support it. And that's tough. And that's, something that needs to be discussed within your family to get that extra support. But any little way that we can empower and the same thing goes with our challengers, right? Especially our challengers, because they don't know anything about this business. They're just trying to get through a workout with you. And any little ways that you can encourage them and empower, I guess encourage and empower would be, just remember that our number one job is to encourage people that they can do this no matter what. And that's it. So as entrepreneurs, we create, we're consistent, we're reliable, we engage, we take action, we teach, and we empower. And we do so much more than that. But it's always kind of what I like to talk on team calls. And then again, this one's really, if I can teach you anything throughout this whole training, write these down, because you're going to use it. And it's, I'll just repeat it again, because you're going to get people go, what is it exactly that you do? Or your team's going to go, there's just so much to get through. I'm so overwhelmed. I say, we do 5 things. We do 5 things as coaches. It's so simple. 1, we do a workout. We do a beach body workout. We do a workout. 2, I drink a shake. Not because I'm supposed to, not because, Carl told me to, or my coach told me to, because it's working for me. 3, I read personal development, or I listen to it, just because it makes me a better person and it allows me to even help others even more. If I'm strengthening my mind and my soul, then I know that I'm providing even more to somebody else. Number 4, I talk about 1, 2, and 3 publicly. Publicly. That's the hard part. Publicly. I talk about 1, 2, and 3 publicly. And if you're not talking about it publicly, then you have no business. I don't know who you're talking to then. I don't know. You only have so many family members that you can beg to buy a challenge pack. Like, there's only so many, and you've run out of dogs to use it to buy challenge packs, like, right? Like, or to sign up as coaches. And number 5, we invite others to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's it. We just ask. In fact, if you don't even want to use the word invite, because I kind of over that word as well, is that I just ask people to do it with me. Do you want to do this with me? Like, it's the best. And if you're ever struggling with how to ask somebody to do this and how to present this, I always tell my team, what was the last great book or the last great movie, or I'd say movie, not TV show, although some TV shows are really good. What was the last great movie you saw or great book? Now, how would you describe that to somebody to get them to go see it or to go read it? What would you say? You'd be like, oh my God, you have to go see this movie. Oh my God, it was so good. He was so hot in it, and then whatever, right? And what do? They go out and see the movie the next day. why can't you talk about that? Like, my shake is so hot. I'm just kidding. Or like, why can't we share Beachbody like that? It's the same thing. It's not weird. It's not creepy. And I even tell people, I'm like, I don't know what's in Shakeology. I don't care. All I know is that I poop every day. You know how many people I get to sign up because they're like, oh, you had me at poop. Where do I sign up? You know, I'm like, I go every day, like at the same time every day, and sometimes 3 times. Like, it's everything. You know, it makes me regular, if you want to use the word regular. I don't really know all that's in it. It just makes me feel good. It's sweet. I like give me all the sweet things, and I just have more energy. But I don't really know what's all in it. I just know that it's helped me keep my weight off or whatever. And that's how I talk. Like, that's exactly how I talk. And dude, the workout is so good. It's only 25 minutes. Like, that's how I talk. I'm not trying to, like, you know, that's it. I just share it like I'm sharing a good book. So, sorry, I didn't realize I talked so much. Sorry. I meant to keep it 30 minutes.
You are totally fine. Can we open it up for questions? Do you have time for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody has any questions?
You guys should be able to. Lisa's raising her hand.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions, if that's okay. One, what is your favorite program? I'm sure people ask you that all the time, but I'm really curious.
It's not insanity. To be honest, my favorite go-to program to this day will be T25. In fact, I just told Sean, I was like, dude, where's Delta and Epsilon? Actually, I'm going to go see him tomorrow for this dance event. And I'm like, yo, we need to do T25, Delta, and Epsilon. But honestly, T25, I love T25. The only thing I don't love about it is that it's 10 weeks long. So I like to do it like in 1 month versus 10 weeks. But I love it. It's 25 minutes and it's the best. I love Max 32, but it hurts me. Like, hurts. But hands down, I'd rather do size over anything, any day, anytime. But I do love T25 because there's weights. There's not because I'm in it, but there's weights. It's nonstop for 25 minutes. You know, I just love it.
That was my first program I ever did, and
a lot of people.
It will always be my favorite. So, and I'm doing Max 30 right now, and I'm not loving it, but I'm only on day 4, so maybe I'll learn to love it. But
yeah, it's definitely Max 30 to me is like the personal development workout because you got to talk yourself through that baby so bad. I can do it, especially on Fridays. So.
Oh God, that's tomorrow. I didn't need to hear that. Okay. So when or will you have your own program someday? Because you're so inspiring and fun to listen to and fun to watch. And so.
Oh, thank you. Well, you can always do the Shakeology work. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Don't you dare look those up. They actually sell them still. I'm like, really, Carl? Really? Like, can you pull this down? So because I'm a coach, I'm not allowed to do my own workouts. But there's a way around it. And so what we're working on is now that we have BOD, there is a master trainer corner there to put master trainer workouts. But right now they're only like ones that we've already filmed. So like there's a couple size ones, but they're routines that we've already done. So being who I am and the people that I know, I picked up the phone and I was like, you know what we should do? Since some of us master trainers, like myself and Danielle, like, you know, so many people want to do our workouts. So why don't you let us create our own workouts for BOD, but they're master trainer. So basically, it's just a money thing. So like we can't double dip. Like we can't technically, like, so as coaches, we can't make money off our coaches. Like we can't sell to our coaches. So I was like, well, just, you know, pay us a flat rate and let us do a series of workouts on Beachbody On Demand. And that way, you know, so many people want to like do our workouts. So we'll see. That's the only way. Otherwise I have to go to a different company. And that would be weird. So.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, that's why trainers can't be coaches. So it would be unfair, I guess. Yeah. But some coaches actually make more money than some of the trainers. No.
I bet. Do we have any more questions, girls? And Brett?
I have one. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. All right. Hi, Tania. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We are so blessed to have you, and there's so many nuggets that I have written down on my notes that I'd like to ask you 100 questions.
Oh, good, because I talked a lot. Sorry.
You mentioned your Shakeology journey, and it's much like mine, where when I first tried it, I hated it. And
nobody told me how to make it. You put like tap water and just chocolate vegan in a shaker cup. I'm gonna barf.
Right. So my question for you is, have you along the way found any different ways to talk to customers who are saying that they don't like it? I know we've given them a ton of recipes and they're still, saying that they hate it. And B, that cost thing that always comes up.
Yeah. So the people that say, I've tried it, but I don't like it, I'm like, how do you make it? And what flavor? Because if you're drinking tropical vegan strawberry, that's probably why you hate it. Just kidding. Or greenberry. Nobody likes greenberry. I like greenberry. But that's the first thing I'm like, well, which one have you tried? And how do you make it? Because I make mine jammin'. This is how I make mine. If I send you like a recipe, just will you try it like this? And then I'm like, you know what? And you could literally like try the whole bag and hate the whole bag and still send it back and get your money back. So it's kind of like, why not? Right? And it makes you poop. I'm just kidding. But I do tell people that. So I always usually chances are they're not making it right. So I just tell them what I personally like. And I have a different recipe for every different type of shake except tropical strawberry because I hate that one. But otherwise, I have a recipe for every single one. And I'm always like, if you want to, make it, put peanut butter in it, put this in it, for PB2, like stuff that's not going to make the shake 500 calories. But just some little tips and things like that. And then as far as the cost, well, this is like the never ending argument with people, is it's just too expensive. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it ain't cheap. It's not, but how much money do you spend a day on a meal? Like it's meant to replace a meal or a snack. Like I guarantee you that Starbucks or that, smoothie, like if you go to LA or New York where they like smoothies or like, these juices or the thing, it's like $8 for a juice. It's just a juice. There's like nothing in it, Yes, baby. Okay, honey. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. Speaking of poop, you just want poop. Wipe up. I'll be right there. He's like, I'm done. Wipe my butt. I'm like, who wipes your butt at school? He's like, my teacher. I'm like, oh God, learn to wipe your butt. Anyway, so I usually, I just kind of say, and in fact, I don't even like to say, well, it's $4 a day. And da, 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 da. I don't really like to say that either. I'm just kind of like, yeah, but it replaces a meal. And I spend way more than that on like, I go to Starbucks. I kind of just say me. I go to Starbucks and I realize I just spent like $10 a day at Starbucks on like, a water and a coffee. So, and then I just always try to use that thing of the money back guarantee. And if they don't like it, they can always return it. But it's just so much a better deal to do the challenge pack than it is to just buy the program. And now with the all access bot, it just makes sense. And of course I can always cancel it. So that's how I handle it. It just needs to work. Trust me, they're going to cancel if they want. I mean, there's only so much you can do. That's why it's so important to get them in a challenge group and keep engaging with them. Mm-hmm. So that's why I like the Health Bet Challenge, because it really like is making people drink it and like it and drink it for a month, not like 2 days with warm water in a shaker cup. Very true. So, hopefully that helps. So, anyone else?
Does anyone else? Maybe one more question if anyone has another question. Brittany's raising her hand.
I feel like whenever I get to the point of I get them in there and they're like, yeah, so tell me about what you're doing. And then I know I've reached for Megan's like scripts and, let's get the workouts, and that's great. And then I send them links and we talk about shake flavors. And then I had 2 people that started an account, like they just stopped. And then I have all these people and like all message and say, hey, do you have any more questions? And it's nothing. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's just suddenly like I can't seem to like get it going. I don't know.
Like get them to actually like pull the trigger.
Yeah, like they're all about it.
Smile. So make sure you're not naked and smile. wanted to do that. How was your follow-up How's that?
I'll just be like, hey girl, I was just checking to see if you wanted any more information or you had any questions about anything. I'd really like to get you in the group and just kind of like ask them questions about that. And
That's really all you can do is just making sure, because I know like I have to follow up with people like sometimes like 5 times before this is really fun. I'm totally like taking you guys to the bathroom. Okay. Come on, baby. I usually have to like follow up with them like a few times, and there's only so much you can do other than get their credit card out and sign up for them, and I think it's just that urgency. You're doing the right thing. Like, hey, the group's starting on Monday. I want to make sure that you get started with us. And you can even, I don't know if you're like, and if you have any friends that are interested in doing it too, just let me know. Because if that person falls off, at least maybe they can refer someone else. And honestly, I would follow up with them again and again and again. And eventually they'll say yes and actually finish setting up their account or whatever.
So whenever you're like doing your links and stuff, because I had one lady, she was interested in like 4 different things. So with me sending her all 4 links, is that like overbearing?
No.
I mean,
you know what I do though? Because the links I don't like those links. They're ugly and long. I don't know how you guys do them, but I create tiny URLs or bit.lys. So it's something like cool. Like, I don't know if you guys, it's free. So you just take that long, link, or unless you do command K. Do you guys do that? You guys ever do that? Oh, actually, okay. So a couple things. You can do I'm totally wiping my son's butt right now.
I love it.
Okay, go get a new underwear. Go ahead. He doesn't like dirty underwear. Sorry. And toilet flushing. All right. Here we go. So, if you do a Command K, what it'll do, if you highlight the word click here, right? Like if you type in the word click here and do a highlight it, right? Hit Command K and copy your link into it. It'll go right to your link. It's like a hyperlink. You ever gotten emails like that? Click here. That's how you do it. Another thing I do is I like to create my own URLs. So I go to tiny URLs, a little bit more forgiving because it's not case sensitive. So if they type in, if they type it in the wrong case, it'll still be fine. Bit.ly has to be typed in exactly the way, but I still like Bit.ly. It looks better. So you can go to tinyurl.com and then put your link in it and click custom and make it something cute like, get free bod with Megan or Megan as my coach. I use that, Tania as my coach, to get them if they need to sign up with me. And be creative with them. And so that way you could be like, so if you're like sending like product links, you can be like, size it up with Brittany, click, you know what I mean? So it doesn't look like a whole bunch of stuff, T25 Brittany, with Brittany, whatever, just stuff like that. Just make it kind of fun and cute. So that way it doesn't look so overwhelming. But I like to send out a lot of links just because that's it. Like, you don't want to keep bugging them, and that way they have information. So I don't think it's too much. I would just make sure that you give them the links to the programs they want versus like everything, versus just what's on special. Like listen to really what they want as a program, and that seems to help because I've had to do stuff like that because of the volume. Like I can't go, sometimes I'll get like 50 messages. I'm like, so I have to do templates and stuff like that and send out links that way. So hopefully that helped.
Yes, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much for taking time to speak to our team tonight.
I even took y'all to the bathroom.
Yeah, and for letting us come to your bathroom.
My son's bathroom. I'm like, oh my God.
We have a lot of teachers on our team, so it's,
They get it. I know. I asked him, I'm like, who wipes your butt at school? He's like, Miss Peggy. I'm like, oh God, remind me to thank Miss Peggy.
An extra big Christmas gift this year. Yeah.
I know. So thanks guys for hanging in there. I didn't realize that the call was like almost an hour. Sorry guys.
You're fine. You're fine. Thank you so much. We definitely appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.